Was good, yeah. So I'm not gonna lie, this is how you know we are in the dead of the off season. In today's video, we're gonna be going over some of my favorite NBA bars. Besides basketball, I would say music is my other biggest passion in life. I love listening to music, just pretty much all throughout my day, whatever I'm doing, there's gonna be music in the background. So in this dead of the off season, I figured might as well take this time to combine my two passions and just keep an extra ear out for different NBA players or teams or whatever it is that are mentioned in songs. And we're gonna review some of them, give them ratings, 1 through 10. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna play any of the songs because I don't want YouTube to just, mute it or strike my channel or strike the video, whatever. But to get around that, I'm just gonna say the name of the song and who it's by so you can look it up and, listen to it fully if you want to. But I'll also obviously be reading off the part where they mention the NBA players. And the first bar we're gonna go over is coming from my favorite artist, and I guess technically it's not really a bar because he's singing in this. So the first reference we'll go over is in Frank Ocean's song Nikes, where he mentions Carmelo Anthony saying, "Said she needs a ring like Carmelo." There's kind of different ways that an NBA player can be brought up in a rap song or any song, I guess, and that's either if you're making a connection between like the rapper's life or whatever they're talking about and the player's life and something that happens, or a lot of times it could be just the name fits in, or if their jersey number, how they're talking about it. This one, it kind of falls into that first category where it's talking about the parallel between Frank's life and then Carmelo Anthony. He's making the parallel of Carmelo Anthony needing a championship ring to, kind of solidify himself as one of the all-time greats, and then whatever girl or boy, I guess for Frank, that he's talking to wants a wedding ring to legitimize their relationship together. But for our first grade right here, I'm gonna grade this NBA bar, I would say it's a solid 7, nothing insane, but it still makes that parallel between, the player and then something else. It's not just like you're saying the player's name or referencing his number. I feel like there's a little bit more to it, but then again, still nothing crazy. So Frank, you get a 7 as the first grade right now. This next bar comes from Lil Yachty's song Trippin' Too Hard, where he mentions Giannis Antetokounmpo. He says, "Sign that paper, I play for them Bucks, I'm feeling just like Giannis." Now, he does mispronounce Giannis' name to try to make it fit the rhyme scheme a little bit more, but to be fair, Giannis has a really hard name to fit into a reference of a bar, and also he kind of made it like good. Again, with the Frank Ocean, Carmelo Anthony bar, he connected Giannis' life with the life that he's living or portraying. Obviously, Giannis is the star player for the Bucks. He plays for the Milwaukee Bucks, and then Lil Yachty, when he's saying he plays for the Bucks, he's playing for the money. He's in the game for the money. He's making raps and writing raps, making music videos, all this for money, playing for the Bucks, while Giannis is playing for the Bucks. And for the rating, I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. I don't want to give it a 10 out of 10 because there's always room for improvement. But Lil Yachty is one of my favorite rappers right now. He's having a really big year for him. So shout out to Lil Yachty. This song, banger. If you haven't heard it, definitely tap into it. Good NBA bar in this one too. This next one comes from Lil Uzi off of his song Homecoming, where he mentions Anthony Davis. In his bar, he says, "Anthony Davis don't deal with the Pelicans." I gotta be honest, this is a funny one, especially with the time it came out. This is off Eternal Atake, which came out in 2020. That's obviously right after Anthony Davis got traded to the Pelicans. So, timing-wise, it was funny. When I first heard it, I remember I was laughing. I was like, oh, that's funny bringing that up. But at the same time, these last two bars that we talked to, the rappers that made the parallel between, what they're rapping about and the NBA player. This one just kind of feels like it's thrown in, like, yeah, Anthony Davis doesn't deal with the Pelicans, but, like, what are you trying to say about it, So it gets some points for being funny, but also loses points for not really having a purpose or a place, I would say. So I'm going to give this one, I guess, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Just be average right there. This next bar comes from the song Money by JID, where he mentions Marcus Smart, saying, "If anyone's talking, put some green up on your head, you better be Marcus Smart." This is a crazy one if you ask me. JID is an elite lyricist. He brings up a lot of sports references in his bars too, which I really like. I'm a big sports guy. Obviously, I assume some of you guys are big sports people too. So, seeing sports names being brought up and you actually understand it, really, really cool to me. The obvious part of this bar is, put some green up on your head, you better be Marcus Smart. When Marcus Smart played for the Celtics, he had his hair tips dyed green, so he had green on his head. But where JID makes the parallel to his life, talking about put green up on your head, putting a bounty on someone, you better be Marcus Smart. You better be smart with the bounty on your head because you got people out there trying to kill you. Insane bar, bro. Insane bar. This one's definitely going to be up there. I would say I want to give it like a a 9.2 out of 10. I didn't think we were going to give points out of this, but it's that little bit better than the Lil Yachty bar. We're going to give it 9.2. Moving on to what most people would say is the NBA's best rapper, on My Daddy's Son by Dame Dollar, he mentions Emmanuel Quickly, and the bar goes, Gucci from head to the sandals, 51 million as annual, get to it quickly, Emmanuel. Now in this one, Dame is just, flexing his Supermax extension that he got with the Portland Trail Blazers, where he's going to be making $60 million at the end of it in one singular season. Yeah, he got to that bag, he got to it quickly. This is more of a name drop than a bar though, even though it is still cool, especially coming from another NBA player. But, he didn't really put something that Emmanuel Quickly does and attach it to what he's saying. It was just a name drop. He added, he swapped first and last name to make the rhyme scheme fit. I would say this one's probably a 6 out of 10. We're coming down to the last few ones. This next one is from Smino on his song No L's. Smino is another one of my favorite artists of all time. I almost said rappers, but he's way more than a rapper. If you don't listen to Smino, please listen to Smino. But in this bar, he actually mentions coach Greg Popovich. Not many times you see a coach being brought up in a bar. But he says, Caucasian driver, no top, Greg Pop, with the Spurs on it, be we outside. Alright, to break this one down, Caucasian driver, no top, Greg Pop. That's the first line right there. He's obviously saying Greg Popovich is the Caucasian driver. Obviously, Greg Popovich is a Caucasian guy. He's got no hair on the top of his head, so he's got no top, and he's the driver of the Spurs, if you will, since he's the head coach. And then in the next line, he says, with the Spurs on it, bitch, we outside. So apparently a spur is used to help move a horse go forward. I know it's a little spiky thing on the back of a cowboy boot. I guess maybe you poke the horse with it and it's like, oh, we got to go faster. Smino is obviously, that's attached to the team, the San Antonio Spurs, that Greg Popovich is coaching. And he's also using that to say the car is moving faster. That's still, the Caucasian driver is driving. There's like 3 different layers here that you can see. I hope it's made pretty obvious for you guys. I'm gonna give this one an 8 out of 10, I would say. 8 out of 10 for Smino. And I don't want this video to go on forever, so I'm gonna give one last one that is my favorite of all time. But also on my phone right here, I have a list of them. I've been deleting them as I go. But real quick, in case you guys want to try to find these bars in here and some of the ones that I don't mention, A Lot by 21 Savage and J. Cole. He mentions Markelle Fultz and Dennis Smith Jr. And Fortune Cookie by Pierre Bourne. He mentions Greg Popovich also. In Park by Isaiah Rashad, he mentions Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks. In Overseas Baller by V's, he mentions Dirk Nowitzki. Definitely tap into V's if you guys haven't tapped into V's yet. In Bubba Chuck by Westside Gunn, they mention Ricky Rubio, Tony Kukoc, Joe Dumars, and Isaiah Thomas. In Scared Money by Moneybagg Yo and J. Cole, they mention Zion Williamson and Luka Doncic. Another song by V's, No Sirski, he mentions Luka Doncic. That's a funny one if you want to tap into that. And last but not least, my favorite NBA bar of all time. If you guys have not heard this song, please go listen to it just for this one specific bar. That's the only reason that I listen to it, really. It's a Westside Gunn song, but the person that says it is Steve Guy Cooks. That's the guy that says it. He's featured on the song. It's a song called Draymond, and I would assume they mentioned Draymond Green. So the bar is, it's what you do after the brick, bitch, I'm Draymond. So when you look at it at just the basketball version of this bar, it's what you do after the brick, bitch, I'm Draymond. Draymond is infamous for bricking shots or not being a good shooter. So it's what you do after the brick, after Draymond bricks a shot, get back on defense, and that is what he's known for, defense. Or after the brick, you get the rebound. That's what Draymond Green is known for. You get what I'm saying? So he's saying Draymond Green might brick, but it's about what you do after the brick, like Draymond. And where the layers come in is, if you guys are new to Westside Gunn, in his rap songs, he raps a lot about cocaine, moving cocaine, being a dealer, distributor, whatever it is. He talks about cocaine a lot. And for those of you that also don't know, cocaine in a large amount is called a brick of cocaine. So it's what you do after the brick of cocaine, bitch, I'm Draymond. After he moves the brick of cocaine, after he sells it, after he gets his money, he is Draymond. That's where he really turns up. He's not even worried about moving the cocaine, but he does it after he moves the cocaine. That's when he flexes the jewelry. That's when he, plays it smart in front of the cops. That's when he moves on to this, to this, to that, to that. That's where he's making his moves, is after the brick, like Draymond. I don't care. I'm taking this to my deathbed. That is the best NBA bar of all time. If you guys disagree, make sure you leave in the comments what you think your favorite is. If I missed your favorite, definitely leave it in the comments. I'm trying to expand my NBA bar knowledge. Hope you guys enjoyed this video though. If you did, make sure you leave it a like, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. In the description, there's links to all my social medias, so make sure you follow me on all those to keep up to date with me. Catch y'all.